fans. Welcome to another episode of the Women's Rugby Show. Thank you for pressing play and joining us as we dive into another round of the Alliance Premier 15s, where the action is always all out and we bring you the fallout.
Now, throughout the lifespan of the Women's Rugby Show, we have brought you some historic moments, from interviewing Sarah Hunter after England won the Grand Slam in 2019 to the Premier 15s final, and even behind the scenes at Harlequins Women training camp. Well, now it's time to bring you another historic moment. Exeter Chiefs were only accepted into the Premier 15s this spring, during the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. So in 6 months, Director of Rugby Susie Appleby has had to pull together a team to compete against some of the best players in the world.
So far, Exeter Chiefs have faced off against Gloucester Harlequins and Bristol Bears Women. Today, they face off their biggest challenge with undefeated table toppers Harlequins Women.
In literally seconds, we are going to be bringing you analysis on these two teams before bringing you match highlights. But before we go any further, please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, plus turn on those notifications, and check out Rugby RFC, who make the tastiest clothes in women's rugby. We'll leave a link to their website below.
So let's see what happens when the undefeated meet the unknown.
Okay, so let's give you the stats and facts to help you decide who's taking all the points today. Harlequins Women are machines. In the history of the Premier 15s, they have lost a total of 8 times. And 2 of those were appearances in the final, so technically it's 6. What's even more daunting, for Exeter anyway, is that in 54 games, they have won by a margin of over 21 points 30 times. 30. That's just astounding, isn't it? We saw on the first day of the season how they can tear a team apart, and what's even more impressive is that if things aren't going their way, they can grind out a win just like they did last week against Wasps Ladies.
Now, obviously, Exeter are new to Premier 15s, and as such, we don't have the same statistics that we would if they played last season. However, that doesn't mean that you should discount the Chiefs. They are new, as has been stated, and they have a great squad with lots of young talent and a number of capped international players. Definitely look out for the Americans, Kate Zachary and Taylor Black, as they've already brought so much to the table. And remember, we have the captain, Lynn van der Velden, who will be driving the team forward. So yes, you have the undefeated, yet Exeter are still the unknown, and as such can really bring some surprises to the game today.
All right, so who's your money on today then?
Well, apart from the fact that Exeter are the underdogs and my family are from the West Country, I've seen such promise with Exeter, and I'm really excited to see what they bring out of the bag this game. Every game has been better, so definitely Exeter for the win.
Right, okay, well, if you joined us last week, this might sound familiar, but I'm saying Harlequins have it. I think that win record is outstanding, and they're coming up against a fresh team, and they've already lodged themselves 7 points ahead of Exeter in the table, so if that doesn't represent a strong team, I don't know what does.
So, there's only one way to find out. Will the undefeated or the unknown win? Let's watch. If there's one thing we're starting to learn about the new Harlequins women's head coach, Gerard Mullen, is that he likes consistency. Last week, he made only 2 changes from round 1, and this time he's made 0 amends to the starting 15s. Red Roses scrum half Leanne Riley misses out through injury, and Izzy Mayhew and Tess Brunnerova are named in their first matchday squad of the season, albeit on the bench. The only other piece of noteworthy news concerning the side is a special occasion for Shauna Brown. She marks her 50th appearance for the women in quotas, and we wouldn't bet against her not dotting down today just to celebrate.
Exeter Chiefs Women may be losing their unknown quantity tag the more we see them this season, but they are still able to spring a few surprises. There's a first start for Flo Robinson at 9, where she will be matching up against her sister Emily, who gave a great showing of herself last week in the back row for Quins. Elsewhere in the backs, look out for the 12-13 combo of Cantona and Cattell and winger Garnet McKenda, who has faced her opponents today for both Saracens and Wasps ladies, so could be a useful source of information for her new club. In the pack, Lauren Leatherland earns herself a starting spot after scoring last week. She replaces Sachiko Katoa, and there's also a place for Poppy Leach in the second row after she made her debut last week from the bench. Susie Appleby is without Welsh trio Fionn Lewis, Abby Fleming and Niamh Terry, who are gearing up for the Women's Six Nations. But expect to see young debutante Kaylee Armstrong as well as Spanish internationals Laura Delgado and Patricia Garcia Rodriguez, who will be expected to light up this game when she comes on.
Harlequins now over the ball, and Exeter not letting them have it their own way, trying to disrupt that as much as possible, as you'd expect. And Sarah Beckett ploughs straight through the middle. She's been having a good few games, has Beckett now, in that good run in the side, and it goes again crashing forwards for Harlequins, and they like to use their pack, of course they do. Maybe not the best conditions to sling it wide, but that's what they do in this instance. Lucy Packer again over that ball, looking to go right. Will she? I believe she will, and she does. And the ball now in the hands of Fee Fletcher, and Pack will still drive on. It doesn't look like there's too much pressure by Exeter, and that allows Sarah Beckett to score the first try of the game for Harlequins. Ellie Green has got the win behind her, which makes this kick that little bit easier, and it's 7-0 to the home side. Harlequins driving that ball forward. The maul has gone down, so it's going to need to be used, and it is whipped out over to the right as it was. Sarah Beckett straight up the middle, probably looking to add to her tally today. Lucy Packer looks to the left, but she does go right, and Amy Cockayne, so much upper body strength, has knocked that Exeter defender back, and it's going to be a maul, and looks like there's going to be a few more shirts driving forward, and they do, and they're just on that Exeter try line, enough to stave off that latest attack. Lots of black shirts there waiting to pounce, and we know that Harlequins can be so dangerous from this position. And again, it just looks like they've snuck short of the line. Fair play. Shauna Brown, upper body strength, smashes through, and on her 50th appearance for Quins, she scores that try. Ellie Green looking at those posts, and again, should be quite an easy kick. It's just to the right as we're looking at it, and she slots it through to double her side's lead. This line now, we are going to have a scrum, which is a rare sight in the modern game with these new laws, but it's just inside the 5 metre line for Exeter, and they will be hoping that they can stave off this attack. Garnet McKenda there over on that far side has called some reinforcements on the blind, and what will Quins do now as that ball goes in? Will they push? Will they do a pick and go from the back? Sarah Beckett is so dangerous from this position. It's gone out. Rachel Burford uses that strength to go forward, and now it's going to be the Harlequins pack piling in. Is it going to be popped up and straight down? Yes, it is. Vicky Cornborough scores for the home side, and they are running away with this here at Surrey Sports Park. Ellie Green, another 2 points on the board for Quins. This is becoming a little bit of a walkover. Ball comes out. Langi Tuima, Shauna Brown, who is celebrating her 50th appearance for the London team. Quick hands there. It looks like the referee is signalling a knock-on, but they are going to play on. So I think that's no, that is definitely a knock-on by Lucy Packer. I think it's going to be half-time here, so a chance for both sides to reset and come out for the second half. Amy Cockayne throwing in. It looked like it was going straight. I think no fault of her own because of the weather. It veered off to the left, but Emily Robinson, who had a really positive game against Wasps, she brings that forward, as does Shauna Brown, so familiar there in these Quins colours. She is Quins through and through. Quick hands there. Heather Cowler's broken through. It should be 1-on-1, but it's not. It's 2-on-1, which means Langi Tuima scores her first try of the season. So the throw-in is taken and down. Quick hands. Rachel Burford pops it up to Sarah Beckett. Oh, she almost got through. That was a great challenge there by Exeter, stopping her going through. We know how dangerous she can be, but it's popped up. And again, it's popped. Again, quick hands. Emily Scott's so good with her quick hands. And Beth Wilcox, she is not given as much space as she would have liked, but she does well to keep that ball driving forward, as does Amy Cockayne. And it gives Quins a chance to reset those forwards and backs, as it does. And Sarah Beckett is through, and all she has to do is pop it up to Lucy Packer, and Packer scores again for Harlequins. Right in front of the post, it's going to be Rachel Burford to ensure the ball doesn't fall over. It should be quite easy for the distance, but difficult for the wind, but it is another 2 points. And now Harlequins coming forward. Such quick feet there by Emily Scott. She's so versatile. Play as a fly half, as a centre, as a fullback, as we know. And Fee Fletcher, she was the Women's Rugby Show player forward of the season, last year, and again she's had a great season so far. Chance now for Quins. Are they going to kick it? They're not going to kick it. You think they would in this position, and it's caused Langi Tuima to flip that ball up. I think there's some confusion there, and yeah, it's a knock on, so it'll be a free kick. Are we going to see a kick, or are we going to see a tap and go? Patricia Garcia taps and goes and gives it to her international Spanish colleague Laura Delgado. And these two, I'm sure, will be very dangerous this season, as is this woman, captain Linda van der Velden. She has been phenomenal for Exeter so far. Another powerful drive by the women in black. Again, that was Laura Delgado, and it's Patricia Garcia orchestrating things again. Over to the right-hand side. I don't think they'll try and sling it in. It looks like all the Exeter pack are trying to help drive that ball through. Again, such power. 4-5 players making sure Quins are put under pressure, and they are now. They're right back on their own try line. So what's the... It looks like, was that gone through? Had it gone through? I don't think it was, but again, they're trying to sneak that ball in, and they are so close. It must be millimetres now. Millimetres from Harlequins' try line, and they breached it. Olivia De Merchant with the score, and Exeter Chiefs Women are on the scoreboard. Lauren Cantell, who has won a Premier 15's championship trophy against Harlequins, puts the extra points on the board. And again, it's a chance for Exeter, the visitors, to crash on through. They seem to be using their forwards quite a bit. Understandably, it's late in the game. They're going to be quite tired, but they're going to use that strength. And it's Kaylee Armstrong on her debut. She looks absolutely delighted with that, understandably. And Exeter have doubled their lead. And at the full-time whistle, it's Harlequins Women 33, Exeter Chiefs Women 14.
Some incredible rugby played out there today, some clean line-outs, some great getaways and attacks, but coming away with another loss. What do you think you need to do to win?
I think if you look at the game overall, like there are so many good phases as well, so that's really exciting to see how that could be for the future or like for the rest of the season. So I think it also takes time to build a team. I mean, some of the girls who came out of quarantine, they've been with us for maybe 3-4 weeks now, and others, like the preseason has been 12 weeks or something. So yeah, I think as a new build team, we definitely have shown that we belong to be here, and we can show some excitement and stuff like that. But it will take a few more weeks to build and definitely compete even more.
Yeah. Curious about that specifically. With the last few weeks, how do you feel the team's gelling? Obviously, you're leading the team. How do you think that is going? Adapting to a new game, new team.
Yeah. I think, I mean, it's an amazing bunch of girls. Like, they're all so talented, and it's really amazing to be able to lead them. I think what's really cool with us to see is that we have a lot of different cultures, as in different nationalities, and we can only, I think, it could be difficult because everybody has learned some stuff differently. But on the other hand, it's also very exciting to see like how that all combines together.
And you personally, how does it feel playing in this league?
Yeah, it's really good. Like, this morning as well, I was like, it's amazing to be able to play this level, and like me from the Netherlands, it's a small country, and then it's amazing just to get this opportunity and just to look back and play at the highest level. I think at the end of the day, I can only develop myself every game even more, and it's amazing to get that opportunity to do that here. Yeah.
And off to play Worcester on the 7th. What do you think the prep will be ahead of that game?
I think we're gonna go back and definitely look a bit more at shape, because sometimes we made decisions and I think that let us down a little today. So just gonna go back, look at the analysis, and maybe also some handling skills even more. But no, I think we'll just go back, work hard, and at the end of the day, hard work always pays off. So let's see when that happens.
Okay, so there you go. Harlequins have it again. How do they keep doing it?
They showed today that they were definitely the superior team. They came out there fighting. They seemed to know where all of their players were at all times, and every opportunity they took advantage of it. It was just that whole determination, the focus, the drive, it was all there. And even with this weather, they were an absolutely well-formed and brilliant team. And certainly Sarah Beckett embodied that whole idea of determination and focus and drive, and therefore was the Women's Rugby Rugget RFC Player of the Match.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more, especially I think Quins just being such a well-formed unit is one of their key strengths. However, it will be interesting to see how Exeter go over the next few games with the fresh new team and those strong players that they have out there on the field. But there you go, that's it for another week. As always, thanks so much for watching.
And before you leave us, remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, turn on those notifications, follow us across all our social media platforms, and check out Rugget RFC for bespoke women's rugby clothing.
Yes, and don't forget to use the code Women's Rugby Show for a discount on us.
See you next time.
Bye.